If you're interested in trying out Mana Traders, look in the description box for the link and enter the code JankMTG when you sign up for 5% off of your first 5 months. Good until April 22nd. Because of Mana Traders, I'm able to build all sorts of decks without having to buy the cards. It's a really great service. I recommend you try it out. Slaying that Jank. Hey guys, Trent here, coming at you with another deck tech. This time we're looking at a modern deck. This is a 8-whack summonings deck. So this is a little bit different from the regular 8-whack deck that I'm used to playing with. I saw lists like this has been doing some 5-0 in modern leagues. The difference between this deck and a regular 8-whack deck is there's really no Goblin synergy other than Goblin Grenade itself. So this deck is just trying to utilize the 8-whacks and to just dump as many creatures on the board and hit hard with one big swarm hit, basically. And part of that is it has devastating summons, so that's why I'm calling it 8-whack summons. So land base is only 18 mountains. No tricks, nothing tricky. You just want to hit 2 to 3 lands in a game, and hopefully the game is over by that time. So yeah, the deck does run 2 devastating summons. Ideally, what you want to do is make devastating summons, float all your mana, make 2 huge tokens, and then cast Goblin Bushwhacker or Reckless Bushwhacker or something with the kicker and hit in for like a ton of damage. We got the new Fanatical Firebrand. This deck just wants as many 1-drop haste goblins, basically, and now we have 8 copies of Mog Fanatic, sort of. 4 of these 4 being hasty, so they're kind of nice. A lot of relevant targets to be able to kill for 1 damage in Modern for sure. Birds of Paradise, Young Pyromancer, Arbor Elf, Noble Hierarch, and a bunch of other stuff. Infect creatures. We got, of course, Foundry Street Denizen can be pumped up for a lot of damage each turn. Playset of Goblin Bushwhackers, 4 of our 8-whack goblins. This is the better one because it just 2 mana gives you the pump. Playset of Goblin Grenades. This is an outstanding finisher. You can kill them out of nowhere. Playset of Legion Loyalist. This is really important against tokens, and just being able to give your team first strike can matter depending on what kind of decks you're playing against, especially when they're getting pumped. Playset of Bolts, of course, just another finishing card and solid removal to get something out of our way of our attacks. And the 4 Mob Fanatics, so we got 8 effects to be able to ping something if we need to do that. Then the difference here, instead of stuff like Goblin Pile Drivers and a couple Goblin Chieftains, instead we're doing and no Mog War Marshal either of note. Instead, we're running the Fanatical Firebrands and Burning Tree Emissary. So it just basically doubles a body onto the board. You know, you play it, you get your mana back, so you got a 2/2. So you can play this plus a Reckless Bushwhacker. Of note, it makes a red and a green, so you can't cast this and play regular Goblin Bushwhacker unless you have... am I right about that? Yeah. Unless you have another additional mountain available. But you can chain this into this with only 2 mana. And our only 3-drop, Reckless Bushwhacker, really supposed to be a 2-drop because almost always we're going to try to surge it in, of course. And it's basically Goblin Bushwhacker 5 through 8. So in the sideboard, we got a little anti-graveyard hate, 1 Tormod's Crypt, and 2 relics. A couple Forked Bolts against problematic tokens and Birds of Paradise and stuff like that. Couple of Braids against decks that may have a little bit of artifact hate, but we want to still be able to hit a creature. Couple of Roasts against some bigger creatures, maybe like Tarmogoyf. Playset of Smash to Smithereens against artifact heavy decks. And a couple Dragon's Claws against burn decks in the mirror match. So that's 8 wax summonings, and we'll try it out in some matches.